Now, this teaching that's going around in Christianity called believing, like having faith, like all that stuff is nonsense and just straight heresy. Like this idea of unbelievers or believers is straight like disrespectful because they're painting the Bible as like a fairy tale, like like this teaching actually like turns people off from the Bible and leads many people to hell because they think that there's nothing required of them and that they could just say like I believe in Jesus and then like walk into heaven. There's even a thing called the sinner's prayer where somebody recites it, their name is just like their name is just like they basically have like a ticket to heaven, like they're just like good, nothing to worry about. Right here in Hebrews 3 verse 15, while it is said today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke, howbeit not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. Now the Israelites that got it that escaped Egypt, of course they believed in God. Like God literally spoke to them. Like they are terrified of God. Like there's no doubt that they believe in God's existence. So clearly, unbelief doesn't mean like believing God exists. Like believing in his existence. Like that. Like that's not what it's saying. What it's saying is that they disobeyed God. As 2 verses earlier says, was it not with them that had sinned? It's because they're being disobedient. They were not obeying God's commandments. So here it continues. Let us therefore fear lest a promise being left of us entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. So clearly there's a quotator. Clearly like there's some works you have to do. For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief. As I said earlier, it's written by obeying God that you'll enter into rest, not believing. Because the Israelites believed. Moses believed. Like Moses literally talked to God and he didn't enter in. Again, he limiteth a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Jesus had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he hath also ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. So right here, Paul clearly says you need works to enter into the kingdom of heaven and gain your rest. Like he's not saying that you just sit back and believe. Because when he says the same example of unbelief, he's talking about the Israelites worshiping the calf, going back to their ways in Egypt, just being disobedient and complaining. He's not talking about them not believing God exists. Like of course they do. Like that's not even a thing. Believing Like atheism has created this idea that like believing in God is like a crazy feat. Like they paint religious people as crazy. So so this creates the idea, like the doctrine that believing in God is like some extreme pious act that like if you do it, God like just jumps up and down. Like no, there's no points for you if you believe in God. Like God does not care, Christ does not care, the angels don't care, even, like the demons don't care as well. Like they're actually happy if you think believing in Jesus means you'll be saved. Like that's not the case at all. You must be obedient. You must keep the commandments. So that's pretty much it. Shalom.